Welcome, everybody, to day 3 of competition out here at Reverly Peak Ranch. I'm Lauren Khalil, and these athletes have already completed 10 stages on the weekend. 4 remain today, but for the top 5 elite men and elite women, they will have an additional stage. And we have seen so much fitness, so much marksmanship this weekend, and athletes are truly testing themselves. But it all comes down to who's been able to manage that fatigue the best, who's been able to recover, and has the mindset going into the final day of competition. If we look at the overall standings here for the elite men, some shifts on the leaderboard, but our 3-time national champion, Jacob Hepner, he sits pretty comfortably in that top position. 350 points are left on the line today before they then advance to the final for the top men. But if you look in that 3rd and 4th position overall, Mike Palmer and Aaron Clark, they are separated by less than a match point. So who's going to end up on that top spot, that final spot in podium contention? There's 4 more stages today, and we're starting over at stage number 11. It's Get to the Chippa. If you haven't seen this one play out yet, it is a 15-minute 4-time stage. They will have 4 rounds mixing between physical work. The elite men here have a 30-pound ruck on and will be moving a 100-pound duffel bag. But then where it starts to get even more interesting is once they get to the firing line, both is going to be freestanding with the rifle and the pistol, and it's both at 38 yards out. So an incredibly challenging stage with the shooting component. We just watched one of our men's elite heat go, and Devin Miller, he's going to put up that top time to beat where he was just finishing the last round of work. So he was into round number 4. If time remains, athletes are able to earn additional points through physical work. Just from the conversations that we were having with athletes yesterday, this stage is going to be incredibly fatiguing, getting to that additional work. We didn't see it with any of the elite heats that went yesterday for the women. We saw it in some of our rather tactical stages, but also the 40-plus, not many of them able to get to that extra work. So our second squad is getting out there right now. We will be having commentary the entire morning over here at stage 11. As we go through the different squads. And we'll also try to get some of the athletes to come on the show and get their take as they're coming off. But do remember, as soon as they get done, they then do have to judge the next squad behind them. We're also expecting Sale Hernandez, elite competitor, not competing this weekend due to an injury. He's going to come and join us on the broadcast, but we thank you guys for joining us. We're having a fun time out here, and it's just been another exciting year at RPR for Nationals. So if we take a look, we can see one of our athletes out there. You can see just how tall that wall is that they're going to need to get up and over. It is over 5 feet tall. I think that's Jimmy Woodard, and he's one of our taller athletes. Yep, waving to the camera. So you can see that he can just get his head over to see a lot of different techniques of the athletes as they get over there. So kind of comparing. I love to see that. But you'll see some of the athletes we saw get a running start to jump over. Other ones do almost a cartwheel over. We've seen a what I like to call a muscle up technique, really using that tricep extension. So we'll keep an eye on what different techniques this next squad of elite men use. As these men get started, they're, I think, about to get a sight picture. But in this squad, we have Marco Coppola, David Ruckman, Tyler Patty, Daniel Ware, and Derek Mickle. So there you see, now they have a certain amount of time at each stage to get their sight picture, make sure they can look at the targets. And I spoke at the beginning about how difficult these targets are, both being at 38 yards out. For the rifle, there's 2 triangles. One is right side up, the other's upside down and touching. That's going to be their target for the rifle. And then the pistol target is an 8x11 piece of paper. The distance challenging, the specific target challenging, but also needing to hold that rifle freestyle, especially when they've already done 10 stages in. They had 6 to kick off competition on Friday, 4 yesterday, and then 4 remain today. But again, for those top 5 athletes, they will have a 5th. And for anybody that's watching that maybe wants to come out, this is a free event. Just make sure you bring your ear and eye pro. We have all of our information on our website. And our next squad of athletes are underway. So the first movement they're going to be doing here is they'll have 12 lateral bag tosses. Once again, for those elite men, that duffel bag, 100 pounds. And it's not just the duffel bag. They also have the ruck-on, which has 30 pounds in there. They also have the plate carrier. So you think of just all of this additional equipment just adds to that overall fatigue from the weekend. And if you'll notice, you can see those red pieces of wood. That is the standard. They must throw it all the way over. And if they don't get it over, they will have to repeat and do it again. The unofficial score to beat, Devin Miller. But do keep in mind that as soon as the stage is done, or as soon as the squad is done, they pull the targets, they bring them over to scoring, and your misses are incorporated into that final score. So whoever we see in the lead or cross the finish line first, it's not necessarily the full story of who will take the event win or be in the lead. So we always want to go to practicescore.com. That's where it will have our official standings after you incorporate those shots. But Marco, he is the first athlete to the firing line in round number 1. So here he'll start with 12 shots with his rifle at the target 38 yards out. And a couple of the other athletes are joining him. So if you see closest to the screen, we have Marco, and right next to him, David Ruckman. But then a little bit further up to the right, you don't see his sling down. That's Daniel Ware. And you'll notice each athlete is going to have a different technique. The best thing to work with is whatever you've practiced with. So although using the sling to create more stability might be better in the long run, if you're not comfortable with that, it might cause you more time to get in the right position. That it's not the best option for you at this time. But yep, now Marco done clearing procedure. He just got through his 12 shots of his pistol, and he will move to his second round, where now he will move that sandbag and have a set of 12 box stepovers. Box height here, 24 inches for our elite men. We are just over 3 minutes in. First stage of the day, so absolutely need to have 3 more for them. Not all of the stages are worth 100 points. We have our physical floater that our men still need to do that's worth 50 points. And that one is going to be on our strength erg. So if you've never used the strength erg machine before, there's a lot of pain faces that we'll see later today as they get to those. So right now, onto those box step overs closest to the screen, where you see right now we have, or I'm sorry, we're working from the opposite way. That's Derek Mickle. And then next to him, Daniel Ware. And the standard here is both feet must touch on the top of the box before you step over. And we already have Marco getting back to work at the firing line, starting his second firing sequence here. And Marco, I believe that this is his first year actually out here competing in tactical games. He has a strong CrossFit background. He lives in the greater Austin area. We've seen him compete in CrossFit teams, so a really big base in the fitness aspect here, and has really been paying attention to his shooting. He was also at the Wyo Ranch earlier this season at our team event, competing in the men's elite division. David Ruckman now at the firing line for his second sequence. And then right above him to the right of your screen, Daniel Ware, he is also on his second firing sequence. So that's your 1, 2, and 3, Marco, David, and Daniel. And Daniel now done with his rifle, he'll move to his pistol, as Marco's already getting to work on his pistol targets. And we talk about the amount of weight on these athletes as they get through these. Yes, it makes the physical component harder, but it also is going to make the shooting harder, especially because you have that weight on your back. Yes, you have your plate carrier, but it kind of offsets where your core is, that you really need to brace and thinking about tucking your hips forward to save that lower back and spine, because as soon as you start picking up those sandbags, you're going to want to put a little arch. So now Marco starting the work on his third round. He will have 12 bag and body over this over 5-foot wall. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, that is 100 pounds in that sandbag. We also have Daniel Ware. He's on his wall climbs as well. So that's going to be your 1 and 2, these two men. And there's just one physical component after this portion. David Ruckman also joining them on the third round. And yeah, even the way that Marco's getting up, you can see just how strong those triceps are. He doesn't hesitate at all. But earlier this week, they've done hand release burpees, fatiguing on the tricep. They've had to get over the 48-inch boxes, also going to be using your triceps. So when you're thinking of that compounding fatigue and the volume over the course of the weekend of movements that use similar muscles, I wouldn't be surprised if that press out each time is even more daunting than if this might be your first stage on the weekend. And also you can notice how dirty these athletes already are from the red clay out here. It sticks to everything. I would imagine that they're going to be cleaning out whatever clothes they're wearing this weekend, all of their weapons. Luckily, the wind isn't too bad today, but the past 2 days, that's one thing about tactical games is there's only so many things we can control with programming. You can't control the wind. You can't control the dust, the heat, all of the other elements about being outside. So depending on which stages athletes are shooting today, it's going to be a little bit nicer at some of our long-range stages as the wind has greatly died down from what we were facing on Friday and Saturday this weekend. We are now just over 9 minutes in, 15-minute time cap. This is their third of 4 rounds. Yeah, so you'll notice that Marco really gets up and then puts his entire body and chest over as he gets over the wall, and then David stays a little bit more upright as he hoists himself over the wall. And Marco is done, so back to his third firing sequence here. And trying to find opportunities that you can breathe, get your composure, also keeping in mind that there are several other elite heats that will be chasing down times, looking at other athletes' strategies to see if they can get any type of competitive edge, especially as we're here on the final day of competition. We say 350 points left up for grabs. If you don't have a reference point, that might sound like a lot, but it's really not. Not a ton of opportunity left to make moves on the leaderboard. So making sure that you create gaps between athletes is so important because we do our standings based on percentage points. So it does reward the athletes for being dominant in stages and being ahead of the other leaders and people that are in front and behind them. So if you have strengths, you really want to find stages where you can maximize it to help yourself as you try to win those last final points. Marco will just have his pistol here now before he will be able to get to his last physical part of work. So we also just got our overall standings. I believe that these have the shots added into their scores. They do. So we do have Devin Miller. The score to beat right now is 109. So it's a point stage, which means that they added the shots versus all of the work that he did in the physical component. Marco now working on his last round, 4 rounds. This one on paper really doesn't look that bad. You see a bear crawl with the sandbag and you think, okay, in theory, this is a pretty basic movement. You're never going to fail a bear crawl, but when you are in the dirt, you are dragging a 100-pound sandbag, it is incredibly taxing, and you just think of, you're in the dirt. Marco's smart there because he is wearing gloves, so you're not going to get all of those little pieces into your hand. And you just think this is one of those stages that it truly is about grunt work. Who wants it more? Who can fight through all of these different components of the obstacles in the physical part? So Marco and Daniel Ware, they are both in this 4th round. But we have just about 90 seconds left before that time cap. Again, Devin Miller, just for a reference point, he got through this part and was already at the firing line and I believe finished the rifle portion of the firing sequence. But quite a competitive field for the elite men this weekend. 33 athletes. So even just getting into the top 10, incredibly challenging. So when we look at how close some of those top points are, they have been consistent. That is the theme of what makes these athletes out here so good. They don't have big weaknesses. They're able to mitigate some of the things that maybe they're not stronger in or something in their wheelhouse. But they don't have a lot of gaps in their shooting or their fitness. And just about 30 seconds left here. So I do think going into the next squad, Devin Miller should be able to hold, at least for now, the top score to beat, but with several men's elite squads rather, to go. And that is time for our second squad of our elite men out here. What we're going to keep doing is, as soon as scoring is done tabulating, we will get an update so we can know in real time or almost real time where the standings are before they get updated in practice score. Like I mentioned at the top, if you're just joining us, we will be here for the entire division of the men's elite. And it is Devin Miller that was in our first heat that holds the top time, and he's sitting 6th place overall coming into today. He did have a couple of home runs. He was able to get first in stage 1 to kick off Friday, and then stage 5 to almost end the day on day 1 of competition. He also had some really good performances. Stage 2, he took a 3rd. Stage 6, he got a 6th. And then stage 7, he took 2nd. So some really good top finishes, a couple of bottom finishes, which shifted him down the leaderboard just slightly, but not enough to knock him out of the top 10. So even though he ended day 1 of competition in 2nd, there are still a good amount of points for him to grab to potentially move up into the top 5. And if you're just joining us, this is your overall standings before the stage that we're at right now. So you can see some shifts on that leaderboard. Just talking about Devin Miller. He bumped from 2nd down to 6th, but some really good moves. Jose Sagoon was able to move up to 2nd. And then that tight race between Mike Palmer and Aaron Clark, less than 1 match point separates them. And then Kyle Martin and Devin Miller, they're right on that cut line to potentially get to the final stage, stage 15, to end today. And Kyle Martin, he'll be coming up in one of our later heats just shortly. He's somebody that really wants to be in that top 5. Last year, he missed it by such a small point margin, and he doesn't want that to happen again today. So he's an athlete that we'll also be keeping an eye on to see what his overall standings are. Welcome, everybody. I'm Lauren Khalil. If you didn't watch our previous stages, this is stage 11. They're going to have a mix of physical work and working at the firing line, both the rifle and pistol, incredibly challenging at 38 yards both, and freestanding. Accumulated fatigue is going to come into play here. A 100-pound duffel bag on top of the 30-pound ruck that these athletes are going to be wearing. At last check, our score to beat, it is a point stage, is Devin Miller at 109 from our first squad to start day 3 of competition. Is now we get to our third squad of men. This is squad number 7. And for this one, we will only have 3 athletes. We have Jesse Morkeski, Justin Cole, and Colton Cunningham. $350 points on the line today before we get to that final stage where just the top 5 elite men and top 5 elite women will get an extra stage. So if you weren't tired from 14 stages, we give you one additional one to really end your weekend on a high note, and then hopefully some recovery on Monday. But this weekend has been so much fun. We started with 6 stages on Friday. We had 4 yesterday. We'll have at least 4 today. And on Friday, we only had our athletes who qualified to be here, our national athletes. And we had 171 athletes that did qualify to be here. They competed in all 3 days. And then yesterday, we welcomed 66 athletes in our intermediate divisions. So that's a mix of some newcomers. Maybe they've never competed in tactical games before, but also some athletes that just really love the experience competing alongside our national athletes. And at nationals, you know, we have Vendor Village, so a ton of different sponsors and brands, from food trucks to getting your guns and your setup, and maybe you're looking ahead to 2026 and, okay, what brands do I need to talk to? How do I want to get everything ready before I get back to the drawing board and training? But it was certainly a busy season where we had 12 regional events, the most that we've had yet in tactical games history. And then in 26, we will have 15 regional events. And again, when I say regional events, they are not just here in the U.S. We went to Poland once last year. In 2026, we'll also be going to Poland and Italy, and potentially adding another regional event abroad. So stay tuned for that. But all registration for our 2026 season is open, and we travel all over the U.S. Our tactical games team, about 5 or 6 people, they are the ones that are bringing all of this equipment, driving trailers, filling sandbags, setting up rigs. They're the ones that make this happen, and are why we can travel to some really, really cool places around the country and around the world. And our third squad of our elite men is underway. They start with 12 sandbag tosses over what you see. Those red little sticks must make it all the way over the line. And when I say this is a points stage, it means that all of this work is 4 points. They will have 4 total rounds, but if any time remains, we haven't seen it yet with our elite men, they will be able to earn additional points going through these obstacles. So far we've had Devin Miller, who made it back to the firing line to finish up his 4th round, but didn't completely finish. So it's just at this point, who can make it all the way or the closest through all 4 rounds. When you look at programming as a whole for the weekend, these are movements that we have seen throughout our regional stage, or our regional season rather, but none of them are exactly the same. Similar movements or similar structure. We also had Inman, one of our staple stages that we like to call here at Tactical Games, but it was called Inman, but worse. So there were penalty shots, and then there were also sled pushes. So while a lot of these athletes that are out here at Nationals this weekend have done some of those stages, we like to upgrade it and change some of the variables so that it's not exactly the same. Already at the firing line, Colton Cunningham, our first athlete to start his first firing sequence. 38 yards out for both of his targets. The rifle will have 2 triangles, half the rounds in one triangle and half in the other. And then our pistol target, just an 8x11 paper. So targets anywhere within that paper will count. Join now Justin Cole. Justin in the black t-shirt and Colton in the white. So it looks like Colton might be having some, or it looked like he might have had some issues with his pistol. He had to keep hitting it forward, but nonetheless was able to finish up that round. And now he will go into round number 2. He will have 12 box stepovers at 24 inches with the 100-pound sandbag. And also, folks, don't forget they're also wearing a ruck, 30 pounds in the ruck. They have their plate carrier, their belt. If you're watching at home and wondering what is the best way to train, with your equipment on, making sure that you're doing some of these movements with your belt, figuring out where that pistol and holster sits. Where is it comfortable, especially with a movement like this, box stepovers? You're going to have your hip crease, and you don't want your pistol to be too far forward, or it can limit that range of mobility that you have getting your hip up. But even just watching Colton doing box stepovers, very different than doing box stepovers with all of this weight. So we have Justin to the right of your screen. He's working on the box stepovers right next to Colton. You can already see just how exhausting and getting your heart rate up a movement like this is. It doesn't need to be fast to get your heart rate up. Just all of that load on top of you in these movements. And on top of 5, 10 stages that they've already done over the course of the weekend. And now Justin has been able to make moves. He will be your leader in this squad of elite men, getting through all of those 12 box stepovers. So now he will finish up his round number 2 as he approaches the firing line. Right next to him to the left of your screen and the headband, Jesse. And almost forgot, also got to shoot your pistol out there. So that's another thing that comes into play. You know, if you compete in other sports, we have a lot of people that come from the obstacle course racing world, you know, high rocks, CrossFit. Typically, you will have the timer big in front of you. You will have what the movements are that you're doing big in front of you. With this, you have to rely on your brain a lot and memory. What movements am I doing next? Did I fill my magazines properly with the right round count? And a lot of it does really rely on you to know what you're doing. Of course, you'll have your judge there, and they're mostly there for safety and to count your reps. But also, if you do the wrong movement, like, hey, no, you actually have to go to this next, and holding the standard. But it's just another variable that makes the sport so challenging, but so addicting, because there's always something to get better at. So both Justin and Colton getting through this round 2 of their pistol, and we are just under 8 minutes in. Time cap is 15. Justin will be the first athlete to now move to our tall wall. So it's the bag over the wall and then your body over the wall. Once again for 12 reps here. And great technique. And when we look at programming as a whole, we try to, you know, you'll hear athletes say, oh, this is a tall person's workout. This is a short person's workout. And it's the forever debate. With these walls, being a little bit taller is definitely going to work to your advantage here. Also having strong triceps for that press out. Yeah, even the way that he's able to dip out all the way up to the top of his hips. Really strong athlete here. And that's a similar technique that you will see athletes use when we have our yokes. A lot of sandbag work that we program up and over the yokes. Sometimes you can just go under them. Sometimes you can go around them. But there will be certain stages where you have to do a very similar body movement that you see them getting over the wall, that they will get over the yoke. And some will kind of hang under it and almost do a cartwheel over. Sometimes we've even seen athletes do a flip over that I think we might have changed the standards just for safety purposes for that. But this is very similar to what you would see our elite competitors use getting over that yoke. And just looking at the scores to beat coming into this stage, Devin Miller still holds the top score with 109 points, and then behind him, sitting in that second spot currently, is Daniel Ware with 94 points. Colton, closest to your screen, he also has now made it into his third of 4 rounds of the physical work. Had to take off the sunglasses. Lots of athletes this weekend have lost those. Even some lost a couple magazines when they're flipping over. And now we also have Jesse making his way on the wall up and overs. So all 3 of our athletes in this squad are into our third round with just about 4 minutes until that 15-minute time cap. And while today we will be focusing mostly on our men's elite stages and our women's elite stages. Also competing this weekend with some really tight point spreads are women's and men's 40 plus divisions. Just because you are aging up and a master, it doesn't make those divisions any less intense, because a lot of the athletes, once they decide, you know what, I think I'm going to retire my elite hat, all of those athletes just move into the 40 plus division, making it almost a second elite division, if you can kind of think of it that way. Justin on his third firing sequence of the rifle. But he looks really stable. So even this far in, you know, when we watched some of the other squads yesterday, you could see just how much their body was shaking and moving. And I think he's got some dust in the glasses, just wiping them out really quick. But you could see how much their body was moving just from, you know, being in that freestanding position, and how much body fatigue it is. He does a great job with, if he's getting to that point, he puts the rifle down, still pointed downrange. He rests, shakes it out, puts it back up, and gets to work. And our other two athletes, Jesse and Colton. Yeah, and this is one of those things, especially as your triceps start to get tired. You don't want to jump up too early where you could potentially fail the rep. Knowing just how much you're using your upper body in this stage, between moving the sandbag, but also just holding the rifle and the pistol in the freestanding position, you want to try to use as much of your legs to jump up and save your arms if you have that kind of leg strength and drive. Less than a minute now to finish up, or see how far they get, collecting their points on their first stage of the day. And now Jesse also at the firing line. And he knows time is running out, so let's see if we can just get as many shots as possible on this target. And Justin will run and try to get that last rep in before the clock, and that's going to be time for our third squad of our elite men out here. But that is really what you want to do is, okay, what do I have left in me? How can I push this? Because you're competing with other people that haven't even gone yet, so getting those points are going to be so incredibly precious. But we know now Devin Miller, after 3 squats, he's going to hold that top score to beat of 109. Is squad 1 will be the next to take on stage 11 of our final day of competition. If you're just joining us, though, welcome everybody to day 3 of competition. I'm Lauren Khalil outside here at Reveille Peak Ranch. Your overall standings going into today for our elite men. Jacob Hepner still sits pretty comfortably on top. He started the weekend in that top first place position, and he has never lost it on any day of competition. He is going for 4 consecutive national title championships here and he's going to do whatever he can to not lose it to anybody else. Jose Sagoon able to move up on the leaderboard into that second overall placement. But then take a look at 3 and 4. That's really where the storyline and conversation is today, especially in the morning, is can Mike Palmer edge off Aaron Clark as both of them sit less than 1 match point apart, and who is going to get and stay in podium contention. Another conversation is that cut line. So all of these athletes will have 4 stages to do today, but the top 5 men will move to a 5th and final stage. So can Kyle Martin hang on and stay in the top 5, or is Devin Miller going to be able to edge him out? And knowing that Devin Miller, he currently has the top score to beat in this squad. Kyle hasn't done this one yet, so we'll see how that pans out. Stage 11, though, it is a 4-round stage, 15-minute time cap. It is 4 points. So they will move through physical work, having a 30-pound ruck on them the entire time and maneuvering a 100-pound duffel bag. This is going to be a tough one for so many reasons. All of that weight that you have on your body and have to manage through this stage for 15 minutes. And then you have to go to the firing line and hit some of our hardest targets of the weekend. They are both out at 38 yards, and they're both freestanding. Small targets, only an 8x11 piece of paper for that pistol, and for the rifle, it's going to be 2 triangles that they hit half of their shots on one and half on the other. Squad number 1 is now getting ready. They will be sighting in their rifles. But in this squad, we will have James Morris, Luke Kruckmeyer, Damon Ortega, Landon Rasmussen, and Matt Kaiser. So in this squad, we have several familiar faces from nationals. Damon competed in nationals in the elite division last year, as well as Luke and James. And we are about to have, you can put that on. Yeah, and there we go. Your microphone is hot now. We have Devin Miller in the booth with us here.
That's
we
scary.
will, come a little closer to me. We'll put ourselves on camera real quick. Hey, congrats. You're
Thanks.
doing awesome.
I appreciate it.
Now that I'm this close to you, I can see how much of the range is actually on you.
Me, yes. Myself and everybody else.
How's your gear looking?
It's pretty dirty. It's pretty dirty. Yeah. First stage of the day, and we started off clean, and now a nice coat of dust for, the rest of the day. So, yeah.
When you're doing a stage like this, you look at all of the weight that you need to hold on. We'll put the camera now there as our next squad gets after it. And they're gunning for your top score, actually. Did you know that?
I know. I hope they get it.
You hope that they get it.
I hope they get it. Yeah, these guys are putting out.
You're in an interesting position right now because you're kind of in this battle with Kyle Martin trying to squeeze into that top 5. Do you watch the leaderboard throughout the weekend?
Not really.
So this is news to you?
Yeah, a little bit.
In real time.
Wow. Okay.
So now knowing that, does that change your mindset? Do you like to be blind and just focus on yourself and what your capabilities are?
A little bit. When we come out here, I like to just compete and then use it as an evaluation to see what we can get better on, right? Like every single competition at TAC Games has given me, and I'm sure everyone, something to work on to get better for the next time. It's a great assessment, whether you're in law enforcement or not. You just become better every single time, whether it's long range, whether it's the aggregates. Like I know myself, I got better at long range shooting with the rifle this year, but next year I'm going to start working on my 2-gun stages because that's what I need to get better on. As far as, knowing the leaderboard, it's kind of fun, but I hope when I come out here and perform, it's just, going to be all out every single time,
So for maybe some of the athletes that haven't taken on this stage yet today, what was the part where you really needed to channel in that grit and determination to just tell yourself, keep going?
Yes, so for me, it was the wall. After about the fourth rep over the wall, the fatigue started to hit. It was hard to catch my breath, and I think it was because going over the wall, you're not really breathing, and then cleaning the bag and throwing it over, you're not breathing. So majority of that work, you're almost holding your breath, and so when you go over to the other side, you're sitting there trying to catch your breath for a little while, then you throw the bag over, again, holding your breath, and then you're going over the wall. You're kind of like tensing your body up because you're taking yourself and all that weight over, and you don't want to hit the ground and get hurt. I think everyone here is thinking about, get in here, Sal, thinking about not getting hurt, right?
Was it a matter of having tricep fatigue on top of the, fatigue of not being able to breathe, or what were the muscles that you felt first?
Honestly, I didn't really think about muscle fatigue. It was, and I was talking to Jimmy as well, and Jimmy said the same thing. It was just breathing, right? It's just cardio. Getting over these obstacles, not very difficult, but you feel like your body is so tense the whole time, especially for that wall, because nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to roll an ankle, and you're flying, you're throwing yourself and all that extra weight over the top of it. And so when you land, you're pretty stiff. And when you stiffen your body, you're holding your breath, and it's hard to breathe. You're fatiguing yourself.
If I remember correctly, you weren't at Nationals last year.
No, not last year, 2 years ago.
What does it mean to you to be back and alongside these athletes? Because, of course, we can talk about the competitive nature and how tight those points are, but these are also a tight-knit community and
100%.
People that really help each other and build each other up in the sport.
100%. That is one of the best aspects of the tactical games. Is the people you meet here are absolutely phenomenal. They're phenomenal athletes, they're phenomenal shooters, and they're phenomenal in their character, right? Like, I text and call some of these guys in between tactic game events all the time, right? Just seeing how they're doing, like Kyle, right? Especially with his son, and just encouraging them and hearing their story. It's awesome. So knowing these guys both here on the stages and then off is something that I don't know if you get that in a lot of different sports, but this one you do.
What has been your favorite part of the weekend so far?
Favorite part of the weekend, I would say the people, right? Coming back and making contact and seeing all the people again. And then I love stages like this. I love the stages where you get to work and shoot. I think it's the core of tactical games, right? Where you're doing CrossFit and you're shooting and you're seeing how it works out. It's fun. It's a really good time.
But I think it's interesting because, when I'm training in my local affiliate, I will do a lot of box step overs, but wearing all of this gear, putting 100-pound sandbag on me, having a ruck on me is a whole other level of challenge. How often do you actually put the full gear on you to train like this?
Well, I actually wrote a program to kind of prepare for just TAC games in general, and I've got a lot of the different events that I've seen over the years, including box step overs like this. Now, I did not train it with a ruck on my back, but I trained it holding sandbags in my arms going over, which actually made this a little bit easier because I'm not holding anything in my arms. I just can throw it on my shoulders. So that was one of the events. And then as far as the wall goes, at our CrossFit gym, we have, the pull-up bars and some of the things, including Justin Cole, he goes to my gym, and Lexi Dickinson. So we've just kind of done some strange workouts where I guess if you're there for CrossFit and you see it, you're like, these guys are weird, right? But we'll go over the top of the bar, whether it's, college boy roll or whether it's, muscle up over the top. It's just get over the top. And we'll do things like that at the gym. And I think it pays dividends here because these are not really your linear, nice, beautiful movements like in CrossFit, right? They're awkward. Throwing a bag sideways is a very strange movement. It really is. Your body's not really made to throw something that direction and hope your knees don't go out on you. Mm-hmm. So I think
uses a lot of those oblique muscles too, so hopefully you're working those.
100%. So I think the awkward movements and just being mobile, I think you have to be more agile than people imagine coming to this competition. It's not just picking up weight. It is picking up weight and moving it in awkward positions, especially that crawl, which man, that crawl was
Why
such a
do
good
bear
time.
crawls? It's funny because I was speaking about, this looks really easy on paper. You're never going to fail a bear crawl. But then when you you raise your eyebrows, you're like, wow, maybe I was about to. But it's one of those things that you just have to keep moving and embrace the suck.
100%. And you see the guys to your right and your left, and they're still going, so you can't let them down. You got to keep going as well. Yeah, that sandbag crawl is probably going to be everyone's least favorite event here. I thought it was going to be the wall, but then we got to the crawl, and it just doesn't seem very efficient. By the time you get there, you're fatigued. You have a hard time breathing because your plate carrier is getting pushed into your diaphragm, and that ruck is just pushing your head down. So it's just, a whole lot of being in an uncomfortable position.
So if people at home are watching this now, they want to start training in tactical games and getting involved in, hey, how do I start with this wall? What is the best way to start and kind of mimic this technique? You were talking about getting up and over the bars, but what if that's even too tall?
Yeah, so this is kind of it's going to be weird to say, but it's kind of a gymnastic parkour movement, right? It's awkward, but I'm just getting over a wall. So I actually do gymnastics, not a whole lot, but I try to train maybe once a week, once every other week, and I think those movements have just made events like this a little bit easier because it's not something I have to think about getting over the wall. I know how to get over the wall. It's just going to fatigue me. And I think sometimes when you have the ability to just get over a wall or you get over an obstacle without having to process how to do it, I think you just become more efficient, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So some type of awkward movements when you're training is really going to help out. When we were doing the box step overs, actually, I'm not stepping all the way up because there's really no reason to. For the rules, all you have to do is set both feet on top of it and go over the top. So I set it in a very, very low squat, kind of like a frog squat, and just across, right? And I think it's a fast way to do it. I think it works. But you got to be able to get down into that low squat
Good
position.
mobility.
Mobility's huge, absolutely.
Do you still work on your mobility, or is that something that, you were able to really train in yourself when you were young and now it's just there?
I definitely did it when I was young, but I absolutely do it now. I think it's more important to do it now in the mid-30s than it was even, early 20s.
Long are the days where there's no warm-up when I go to the gym or no mobility work. Every morning I wake up, I'm like, okay, what do I need to stretch because of the way I slept?
Yes. I mean, you still wake up sore sometimes, but it really
minimize it as much as possible.
Absolutely. Stretch afterwards, get a good warm-up in before,
And even just going back to 2 years ago when you competed in nationals, do you remember how many stages y'all did?
I want to say we did 4 each day, and then the very last day it was you had the top 5 going to that final one, but I may be remembering.
To my knowledge, I think that this is the most stages that we've done over
it seems that way,
a
for
nationals.
Sure.
So with that, how have you changed how you recover when you have a weekend that's so condensed like this? Or what are you doing extra to try to minimize the damage?
So we had a conversation coming into this that we really had to prioritize taking in protein, because I'll be honest, when you have an event like this where you're burning a lot of calories, I believe the focus is to put calories back in. But with how much we're tearing our muscles down, we really had to also focus on getting protein. And no one likes really taking protein when you're in the middle of events, right? You like to take your calories and your carbs in and burn them. But because we're doing this for 3 days, if we weren't taking in that protein, our muscles are going to get really, really sore. So we try to focus on, just taking in protein on top of the calories and the carbs, right? Because this is a 3-day event. If it was 1 day, you can just carb load real quick, burn through it, and I think you're fine. But for this, your muscles are definitely going to start to feel it if you don't get enough protein in.
And now we're kind of watching the athletes at the firing line. To me, these are some of the hardest firing sequences that we've seen over the weekend, just the combination of having to stand freestyle for rifle when your upper body is probably already fatigued, but then also having the pistol at 38 yards out. What did it feel like for you?
So the pistol actually felt very easy. This is probably one of the easiest pistol shots here, which makes sense because our pistol and our rifle targets are the exact same. Pistol's a little further than normal. However, it is a much bigger target. You have that full piece of paper to shoot. As long as it's on that white piece of paper, you're fine. This is one of the easiest pistol stages, in my opinion, to shoot.
Okay.
The rifle, I wouldn't say it's the hardest this weekend, but it's definitely up there. You get off of a workout and you get back there and you're breathing. On top of that, you have the ruck, which means your rifle is not going to go where it normally goes. You have to set that rifle in a different position. And I found at first, when I went up and got my sight picture, my eye relief was a little bit different than normal. So I actually put my stock in one notch because I have the big strap from the rucksack sitting right there.
Which will make the distance
100%, a lot different. So made that adjustment. Again, during the sight picture, but it's little things like that'll definitely make a difference because you're not shooting with just a plate carrier anymore. You've got a 30-pound ruck on, and you're breathing really hard, and you have nothing to stabilize because you're holding it.
What stage have you enjoyed the most this weekend?
Ooh, this was actually pretty. I'm gonna say it's fun, but
it's all fun because we paid to be here.
We paid to do this. I liked. I think they called it the dingo. Was it the sandbag over the obstacle? That was fun. I love obstacles, and that's the closest I got to an obstacle this weekend. So I love that stage. That was a very, very fun stage. Everything felt fluid as far as the events, something that I could handle and I could do well. So that's probably why I enjoyed it, I guess.
And now just watching, we have Luke and James that are getting to work on those bear crawls. Are you getting any emotions that come over you when you see these other guys?
I know what these guys are feeling right now. They're having a hard time breathing. Like right there, you can see the rucksack just pushing on his head. And that, again, restricts how much air you can bring in. And I know I changed it up a little bit. I was on hands and feet at first, and then I found myself not being able to breathe very well. Then I went to my hands and knees, and it was a lot slower, but I could breathe a little bit better. So I didn't have to rest as much at the other end. I think you just have to find the sweet spot that works for you, whether you're going to drag it with your hands and feet on the ground or drag it with your hands and knees on the ground.
Well, and even you can see with the rucks that if I were going to go for a ruck and actually run with that, I would put that like belly strap over. You see most athletes choose not to do that. Is that
Correct.
To help with your breathing through this?
Yes, absolutely. So you can get the shoulders tight enough that you don't need it. So I just buckled it behind so it didn't flop around on me. But I did not want that restricting my breathing because that's the number one thing that affects you on here. The bag, the rucksack, even going over the wall, it did not move very much. It was absolutely fine. But yeah, if you cinch down, that's just another piece of equipment that's just restricting your diaphragm.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking in your position that,
See,
it's
hands and feet. I don't know if he just started. He's been going.
Oh, look at that technique. I haven't seen that before. James, interesting with like the knee, and then he gets into that.
He's moving well.
Oh, and that's time for this squad. But yeah, that feeling of just let me lay here, let me take this weight off of my back, that's so relatable.
As soon as you finish the sandbag crawl, you just feel connected to everyone else that's done that sandbag crawl.
Yeah. Well, I think, Devin, you should be able to continue to hold the top score to beat of 109 reps because you got to the final round of the firing line. Did you get through the rifle?
I got through my rifle, except I had a jam, and when I tried to fix it, I pulled my mag out, and I had one round left.
Oh.
But I knew I could shoot better on the pistol, so I just dumped it, cleared the rifle, and then went to the pistol. And I had one round left in my pistol. I'm sorry, my pistol mag, and then one left in the barrel. So that's at least 2 rounds I didn't get off in the pistol. So if someone gets up there with a little bit more time, and honestly I think some of the guys in Heat 4 will, even if we move at the same speed on the work, a lot of those guys shoot faster than I do, and they shoot really, really well. So I think that will be just enough to allow them to finish that last mag and potentially get back to work. When I get up there, especially for the rifle, I'm a pretty slow shooter with the rifle. I think I did okay on it, but that would be, again, the next kind of step I need to work on is getting better at just getting on target real fast and trusting my hits. So I do think some guys can finish this and make a little bit of bonus points in.
Okay, well, good luck. We'll see how you hold up, but congratulations. It's great to have you back here this year for Nationals, and good luck on your next however many stages you end up doing.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, this is a blast. I appreciate you guys. It's fun to see you guys throughout the year, and I look forward to doing more with you guys.
We have a lot of fun talking about y'all doing the fitness, doing the shooting out there, and you give us fun things to talk about.
Well, good. Yeah, everyone can sit back and watch us just torture ourselves.
Exactly.
As long as we put a good show on for everybody.
Yeah, and we have a couple more elite men's stages, so we'll let Devin get back to his thing. And this is your overall standings going into the next squad. This does not add in the stage that we're at right now, but this is your overall standings going into the final day. We're going to bring Sale Hernandez in just a moment. But you can see just how close some of those point spreads are on the leaderboard. Jacob Hepner going into the final day, still hanging on to that overall top spot. And then the points between Aaron Clark, Kyle Martin is one of the big stories that we're going to be looking at this weekend. And Sale Hernandez back in the booth.
Let me move my spotting scope over because I'm going to be watching their targets.
Oh, we love that. We love that Sale brings all of the equipment so that we really can give you some real-time feedback.
Yeah, I'll be able to look at their targets, and everybody who's watching, I can give you some updates on potentially who's winning the stage.
Amazing.
Yeah. So.
What do you think about the overall standings coming into today?
Oh, man, I would want to be in Kyle's spot for sure because you need to push. Today's moving day, and today is the day to go. So I think he's in a really good position right now. Two of the big guys, man, Mike and Aaron battling it out right there in that 3 and 4 hole spot. That's pretty cool to see because these guys are some of the biggest, strongest dudes in the men's elite. But, yeah, man, between Devin and Kyle, this reminds me of Nationals in 2023.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Same exact contention where they were battling it out for that 5th spot. And, man, Kyle has that fire in his eyes right now. He's like, you know what? This is it. This is the last day. I texted him last night. I was like, hey, it's time to go. I was like, this is your day. You've trained for years to get to today. Today is a spot, and he's pumped, man. So hopefully he brings it today because I'm rooting for him. I love the guy.
Yeah, Kyle.
I love Devin, too.
We love all of them. Yeah. Kyle has the top score to beat 109 points.
Oh, Devin.
I'm sorry, Devin, yes. Kyle still needs to take on this stage.
So I'm not surprised because Devin, this is his stage. This is a stage that he's very good at. He's a light, athletic, very, very good engine. And to me, this is a stage I think he would just love to run over and over for the weekend. So, man, I expect him to do very well on the stage. And the shots are hard enough where he's going to excel.
We'll see how that holds up. On your screen is the stage that they are getting ready to do. Our next squad of elite men. So they will have 4 rounds, get through as much and maybe additional work as possible with a 15-minute time cap. All of our elite male athletes will be wearing a 30-pound ruck and maneuvering a 100-pound duffel bag. Then moving to the firing line, both rifle and pistol at 38 yards, both in freestyle. And our targets here for rifle, it's going to be 2 triangles, and then the pistol anywhere on a 8x11 piece of paper. And as you can see, Sal, he's going to be able to give us that real-time feedback because he's going to be our spotter on the broadcast.
Yeah, so one of the guys to watch here is Michael Stoltz. The guy is a really good shooter. This is a good stage for him. I think he's going to do very well, and the shots are hard enough where I think he's going to make up a lot of points on his shooting. He's podiumed at a lot of he's taken top 5 at a lot of regional events. He's always been in the top for a couple of years now in the elite division. And he's not one of the strongest guys, but he is certainly one of the better shooters here. And much like Devin.
And Michael Stoltz will be in lane number 2. They're already getting started with these 12 reps of getting the bag all the way over that red line. And 100 pounds in that duffel bag. I don't know that we've seen the duffel bags up to 100 pounds this season.
No, this is the first. Yeah, so regional typically for men's elite, it's about 80 pounds. But like Nick said this morning, this is effing nationals. So, yeah, you're going to see the 24-inch box too, which that's really hard for a guy my stature, a very tall 5'8".
You're almost 6 foot, Sal.
I'm almost there. I'm still growing. But, yeah, this is a tough stage. I mean, the box is high. They have a 30-pound ruck. So they have 130 pounds with their 15-pound vest. So now it's 145 pounds. You got your belt. It's an extra 5 pounds. So really about 150 pounds stepping over a box.
Moving that weight, and even the way that the ruck starts to get up towards your neck as you hinge over, and then you have the sandbag over your neck. I can imagine that even breathing, because you're not extending your core, is going to get challenging for these athletes.
100%. Yeah, so setting up the ruck is very important. I like to set mine up a little higher. I feel like when it's sagging, it just gets annoying. And then when it comes to shooting, I like to try to loosen my ruck. All right, let's see here. So
Zack Wolf, closest on your screen. He is competing in the men's elite for the first time this season. Next to him to the left, Jacob Horton. He's done with his rifle, and he will move to pistol. Next to him, a little bit more further left, just starting his rifle in the green top, Jared Decker. And then all the way up forward on his pistol with his judge in, I think, the Hawaiian shirt, that's Joe Trainer.
So Zach is shooting very well. Rifle, he's only dropped 1 shot on his rifle, 2. And then Jacob next to him has only dropped 2 as well. So they shot very well. That's 12 shots. They only dropped 2 shots out of the 12. Shooting with a ruck on, their heart rate's through the roof right now, and that's impressive work.
Zach in the lead, Jacob right behind him as both of these men now start those 12-box step-overs at 24 inches. They're moving pretty quickly, but, yeah, you can even see just the body position of their upper body and not being able to extend your lungs and your spine. It's really going to fatigue your breathing.
Yeah, and it looks like they're pretty even because the pistol was about the same for Jacob Horton and Zack Wolf. They both shot pretty identical on rifle and identical on pistol, so it's going to be a close run between those two.
Jacob to the right and Zach to the left.
And Jacob is just so strong, man. This is a good part of the stage for him, just stepping over the box with his super big, strong legs.
He has incredibly strong legs.
Yeah, he's one of the most powerful guys in Elite.
Zach will be first, though, to make it back to the firing line for his second firing sequence. It's 12 shots, both for rifle and pistol. As Sale now zooms in to see
Oh, yeah, we're on it.
how his shots go. We need you for everyone with everything for this. Never before have we had real-time coverage of what the shots look like.
All right. He's on the bottom target, I can see. He has 2 in.
Coming into today, Zack Wolf just outside of the top 10, sitting in 11th with 623.9 match points.
This is the part of the stage where the shots just get harder, and it's because your heart rate just keeps getting higher and higher. And then it's about sustaining that. Your reticle's all over the place. These guys are having to shoot. They can't get the same connection with their buttstock because the ruck's in the way. So for them, it's just like kind of floating off to the side almost. And rifle there looks like he has 6 to 7 shots in. So he shot about 50%, which is about what I'd expect myself, because these are hard shots. And pistol, he's hammering away. He's doing really good pistol. Pistol target's a little easier. It's a big sheet of paper, and it's only 35 yards. So to me, it's not a super challenging pistol shot, but the rifle's where it's really hard.
Zach done. He'll move to his third round of the physical work. Now he's got to get up and over our tall wall. So bag over and then body. We've seen a lot of different techniques here and strategies. We've seen some athletes actually run into the wall to try to give themselves a little bit of oomph before. And Jacob right next to him. And speaking of the tight race between them in this stage so far, they also have a tight race on the leaderboard. Jacob Horton was able to move and break into the top 10, sitting in 10th leading into today, but he is just a little over 10 percentage points, or I'm sorry, 10 match points ahead of Zach headed into this stage.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because they're neck and neck right now. Both of those guys have shot almost identical that last string of fire. And Michael Stoltz, he got to the firing sequence. I think he had some trouble at the beginning with the bag toss, but his shot's really good. I think he shot about 80 to 90% rifle there, and pistol, yeah, I'd say he's pretty close to that pistol as well.
350 points up for grabs today. And then for the top 5 men that make it to the final stage, they will have an additional 100 points. So we know that athletes are going to be giving it their all today, trying to earn the right to do an additional stage as if the body isn't fatigued enough after 14.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what stage that they choose for that final top 5. I'm really curious.
It will be blind until they get out there.
Yeah, I can't wait. I kind of have a prediction to what I think it is, but I don't want to say it because I don't want these guys to hear it. But I think I kind of know what it is. Yeah.
I will be curious off camera to learn what you think.
I've seen what they've done this weekend, and I've seen what they haven't done. Let's just say that.
Now, that's the way that an athlete thinks. What haven't I seen yet? What can I try to predict, and eliminating movements that might have already appeared?
So I think that both of the big guys are on the wall. This is probably the hardest part of this stage for them because they're definitely over 200 pounds. Now the additional weight, and they're trying to move over this about 5.5-foot wall, and this is going to be hard for them. To me, I always see bigger guys struggle on obstacle courses, over high walls with that additional weight. This is where somebody like Devin's stature would excel, being able to be a little bit more springy and less weight to pull over. So it looks like Zach's to the line. He's on his 3rd sequence. He's moving.
And his best finish this weekend was to end day 1 of competition at stage 6. He finished 3rd. That was the one with all of the erg machines. So you talk about where you see some of our bigger athletes thrive, and it's what they're pulling on those machines.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait to see them all at the strength erg. It's going to be insane.
Oh, yeah. If you've never used a strength erg before, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I was just over there with the women's elite, and watching that was just insane. I felt like I was at some like everybody was maxing out their squat or deadlift. Everyone's cheering everybody on. It was loud. They had music going. Star had his little Eminem playing.
Oh, yeah. It gets hype. He takes requests, too. I think any of our physical floaters, Jacob Hepner gets a little bit of Taylor Swift on the audio.
Actually, Star removed that from his playlist.
It's canceled. No more out at the range.
All right.
So Jacob's now also at the firing line for his 3rd firing sequence.
Check it out.
Is Zach.
Zach shot very well rifle there. He shot good.
Done now with his pistol, and he'll move to his 4th and final round. This time it is the bear crawl. Easy in concept when you look at it on paper, but talking to Devin Miller a bit ago, he said this was actually the worst part for him in the stage.
Wow, Jacob is hammering away at that bottom triangle. He shot very well there. That was impressive.
Does it look like Jacob has the most targets on paper?
Yes, yeah. So for rifle, it looks like Jacobs probably has the cleanest target for rifle. Next to Zack Wolf, I would say. They're neck and neck, but Jacob is a couple of points better. Zach shot a little bit better pistol, but Jacob's still shooting pistol. Yep. Yeah, that was really impressive shooting that last string because they're so fatigued right now to be able to get a connection to the rifle, and that adds that heart rate into it, and you're seeing so much wobble trying to steady it.
Jacob now done with his pistol, and he will join Zach at the bear crawl with that 100-pound sandbag. And keep in mind, they also have the 30-pound ruck. And as you lean over in that position, you'll see it hitting their head, bending their neck.
This is going to be close because I think Zach shot a little bit better pistol, but Jacob shot a little bit better rifle. So it's going to come down to who can make it further in the bear crawl. But it's going to be close. I would say within 5 points of each other.
So here they will have 12 back and forths with the bear crawl, 1 more firing sequence, and if any time remains, then they will be able to earn additional points making it through the obstacle. So far in the men's elite, nobody has been able to finish all 4 rounds.
So I think if Michael Stoltz can make it through this last portion for him, the wall, I think he could potentially take this heat win. He shot really well, rifle and pistol.
Horton, you said?
Michael Stoltz.
Oh, Michael Stoltz.
Yeah, so if he can get over this wall and get down to the line, he shot rifle very well both rounds. Pistol's a really, really good group at his target for pistol. So if he can push through, man, I think he could accumulate a lot of points on the shooting because you're talking 24 points each round shooting. 24 points potentially. And
it adds up a lot. And when you're watching this maybe from home, most of what you can physically see is the physical part. You don't get that close-up view of how we equate the pistol and rifle into it, but a lot of the time it is a make or break for these athletes.
Yeah, so what I saw yesterday out of the women's elite, I know I told Lupe, I said, hey, just get to 3 rounds. It seems like a lot of them are going to time cap. So I told her, get to 3 rounds and shoot as clean as you could because you'll make up points there versus trying to rush through, get through the shooting, shoot bad, and then you try to do additional points. It's like you're not going to make it up there. There's not a lot of points you can make up on the physical stuff at the end.
And more fatigue on the body.
Yes, 100%.
That might not be worth the squeeze.
And she did good. I think she was like 90% of Jordan, who won the stage. She actually got the furthest, and she shot well. So that was, hats off to her. And then E was right behind her, like 95%. And they all shot. I mean, they made it through 3 mags, and they shot very well. I'm not sure how much time is left, but I know it's got to be getting pretty close. So they got about...
We're about 11 and a half minutes in. So they should be able to get through these and make it back somewhere in the firing line.
So when I saw the 12 lanes for bear crawl, I was like, that's got to be a typo. That's going to be so hard. We did that.
It's daunting.
I was like, there's no way that's correct. But I saw it, and I was like, okay, that's going to be brutal. We did in Ohio, very similar stage, and the bear crawl was the worst for me. Was the worst by far. And, wow, Zack Wolf made it through.
He made it through, and we know that Devin Miller, he has 109 points. He was able to finish somewhere in that last round of pistol. So he got through his rifle. He said he dropped 1 shot, or there was 1 shot remaining in the mag, and then he almost made it through the pistol.
All right, I'm going to get on Zach's target now. He's shooting the bottom triangle.
So about 2.5 minutes left.
So my strategy would be here is if I had this much time left, I would try to be as clean as possible on the shooting because these are like free points, I'd say. I mean, not easy, but they're free points. You're not working hard for them, so I would catch my breath, and I would steady the reticle as best I could. I'd put my sling on the rifle, tighten it up, and get that good connection to where it takes out as much wobble as I could. And on the pistol, it's like it's an easy target, so you should be shooting at least 11 out of 12 each round. Nice.
So
Good
just
hits.
about 2 minutes left.
Real good hits on pistol. Yeah, I think he went clean pistol that round. That was really solid shooting. And now he's off to
And now he gets to do more work. So it's fun when, the clock will save you. You've got 15 minutes, 4 rounds. Okay, if I do this really fast, I then can start recovering and relax. But no, everybody is working through the full 15 minutes.
So if I was at a regional, I would definitely throttle down for this because I'm like, man, there's a lot of, they got 3 other stages today. So for me, it's like about, saving yourself. But this is effing nationals, like Nick said. So I would go for it, just like Zach's doing, He's got some ground to make up, and I think he's doing that right now. This is a good stage for him.
Yeah, at this point, you just go for broke because each obstacle you make it through is an additional point.
Oh, yeah. And Jacob shot very well rifle, not surprised. I know Jacob's been putting a lot of work in on his shooting, especially the 2-gun stuff, and I'm really happy to see him excel at that this weekend. So Michael Stoltz is to the line, I believe, or did he shoot it? Yeah, he's at the line right now, and honestly, he's shooting the best out of all of them. His rifle target is only 7, 8, 9. Pistol group is very good. He's one of the best pistol shooters in tactical games, and he's running a Glock.
Do you know what his background is?
Yeah, so he works for the government. I don't want to say what agency, but him and Devin work for the same 3-letter agency.
Okay.
And they both are using their duty Glocks that they're issued, so it's pretty cool to see them utilizing that to become a better, better at their job too. Just
about 15 seconds left, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out when we tabulate all of the shots.
Wow, Jacob is moving. Look at that. So he has a couple seconds. Throw it. Yep, he got it.
Oh,
nice
and
work.
Unfortunately, we didn't have a wide shot to see that, but Horton was able to catch all the way up.
That was impressive, Jacob.
To Zack Wolf in the last really 10 seconds.
Ooh, it's going to be so close. I would say at the end of the stage when they do the calculation, they'll be within 10 points of each other, Jacob and Zach. And then followed by Michael Stoltz. He shot really well.
So Jacob Horton and Zack Wolf, they made it through the furthest of the stage. We're also going to, like you said, keep an eye on Michael Stoltz and where he finishes up here. We have our scoring table right next to us, so as they get those targets, as they get the full scores, they are bringing over our little notes so I can keep you guys updated of the scores to beat. Before this squad, the score to beat was Devin Miller of 109 points that he earned on this stage. So we'll see how Zack Wolf, Jacob Horton, and Michael Stoltz's scores factor in as we start our next squad. But if you are just joining us, we'll take a look at the overall leaderboard heading into today with 4 stages left.
Oh, it's crazy. And James Morris, man, this guy's hanging around the top 10, and it's impressive how well he's done this weekend. The dude's strong. I know he's a very big dude and puts in a lot of work, but he's kind of a sleeper here.
Yeah.
Like he's just, like,
I don't think we've really
yeah.
talked about him at all, but having him in the top 10, he's had some really good stages throughout the weekend. Also having Mike Palmer, Austin Green, we both saw them at Nationals in the men's tactical division, so now having them bumping up a division and being in the top 10 mix, I also think is notable.
That is, man, I love seeing that. I love it when athletes jump up a division. Like whether you start intermediate, you bump up to tactical, and then tactical to elite. I love seeing that because it just shows that you care about the sport and yourself at excelling, even if you're not going to win. Like Austin and Mike and Zach, they're all podium guys at tactical, winning every regional they go to. And they're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to push myself. I want to get to that elite division versus just staying comfortable. And now they're here in elite, you know?
Right, because they very well could have stayed in the men's tactical division and tried to win it this year. But instead, they're here with our men's elite, incredible, competitive. There are 7 squads of our men's elite. This is the stage that they're getting at. It's stage 11, a mix of physical work, all wearing a 30-pound ruck and maneuvering a 100-pound duffel bag, and then moving to the firing line for a mix of 12 shots with their rifle, 12 with their pistol, both at 38 yards. And what we saw in the previous heat is the clock is not going to save you. If you do, in fact, make it through all 4 rounds, you get to earn yourself more points to do more work.
What I love about this weekend is I've seen certain athletes finish stages that other athletes didn't finish. And on the flip side, just like Zack Wolf, he finished his stage and other athletes didn't. So it's kind of cool to see the different styles of programming, how it's to certain guys' strengths and weaknesses. For me, this would be a stage I would love to do. I don't know if I'd finish it, to be honest. Seeing Devin not finish, I'd like to think I'd be somewhere around that same time. And then you got Zack Wolf finishing. I'm like, with 2 minutes of work to still do, it's impressive. Very impressive.
It is. So our next squad, this is going to be squad number 3.
The big guy squad. These are all
the big boy squad.
And then Brandon Wambo.
and Brandon Wambo.
You got the big dudes, and then you snuck in a little guy.
We love Brandon. We love him.
Yeah, Nick always likes to do this. He'll put a squad of like guys that are like easily 6'9", 7 feet, somewhere around there, and 300 pounds, and then you add in like a little guy, and it's like, oh, cool.
It's easy to find that athlete, though.
It is.
It's easy to identify. But who we have in this squad, we have Mike Palmer, we have Brandon Wambo, Zach Rodman, Aaron Clark, and Jared Helbert.
I have a feeling that Aaron Clark's just going to be able to step over the wall. Like, just take one big step and just get over it.
The standard for this, you do have to get 2 feet on there. So it will not help out our tall folk out here, even if sometimes you could have an advantage with that.
Another guy to watch is Mike Palmer. This dude is electric. Him and Austin, they just remind me of electricity, like lightning strikes, and that's how they're going to be on the stage, just sending it. And I can't wait to watch both of these guys go.
Yeah, Mike Palmer sitting in 3rd heading into today. He finished out yesterday with a stage win on stage 10. Also, he has several top 10 finishes, a handful of top 5. He took a 2nd on stage 2, a 5th on stage 3, a 3rd on stage 8, and then, closing out the day with that 1st place stage finish. And we're going to be watching the race between him and Aaron Clark.
And they're going to be glancing over at each other for sure because they know how close it is. They're going to be looking over to see where each other's at. To me, that's a no-go. To me, it's me versus me. I shouldn't be looking over because I may shoot a little faster than what I think and miss shots. That's easy points. So they're going to be glancing over. I really hope that they play their game because if not, they're going to get caught in the race And when you get caught in the race, things seem to go downhill.
Well, and it's those two mindsets that if this was a physical stage only and you didn't have to shoot, you could play that race and you could look over at the lanes and try to go toe-to-toe. But when you know that shooting is also a huge part of this sport, you don't want to get sucked in and then have that suffer once you get to the firing line.
Yep.
So our next squad number 3, is already underway, starting with those 12 sandbag tosses over those red lines.
Wow. Just love watching Aaron Clark just casually toss the bag to the next
It looks like 10 pounds are in the bag. Maybe we need to weigh his again.
And then you look over at Brandon. Brandon has to actually use some technique and a little bit more power just to launch it, which is cool to see.
Yep. And Brandon right there on the screen in the hat and the green shorts. Yeah, and the way that he even steps forward.
Yeah, so to me, I kind of translate this to almost playing baseball, how I have my baseball stance. So I would almost get in that same position, rock the bag back like I'm swinging a bat, and then launch it across. But this is a tough one for me with the 100-pound bag. And that's Aaron Clark moving to the line. I'm not surprised.
No, and he has been leading most of the squads that he's been in with a lot of the physical components. And, you know, he's in that top conversation, top 5, looking to make it to that final stage today. 350 points on the line before we get to the top 5.
I know we've talked about his story, his comeback. I love it. Aaron out here, man. He's a good guy in the community. He, he's here for the athletes. He works for Tier 1 Concealed, a really good company that makes really good holsters. I run one. I know Hepner and Jose run one. And, man, he's a good dude to have out here.
Yep, Jared Halbert's at the firing line, as well as Zach Rodman.
So Mike in lane
Palmer.
1, Aaron's in lane 4. Let's go and take a look at their targets.
So closest to us, that's Jared Halbert. Then in the white T-shirt, Aaron Clark. Above him to the left, Zach Rodman. And then all the way to the top is Mike Palmer.
So here they need to be pretty dialed in and be patient. That's the biggest thing is your reticle's going to be moving all over the place. They need to tell themselves, hey, acceptable, patience, smooth trigger press, all the fundamentals. But
Brandon Wambo now also at the firing line.
So Mike shot pretty good there. Looks like he might have dropped 4 or 5 on his rifle. See how Aaron shot.
12 shots for pistol and rifle. Aaron is done, and he will make his way to his second part of the physical stage. Now they will get up and over that 24-inch box, the highest box that we've seen yet this season for our men's elite. And as Sal was talking about in the previous stage, if you're just joining us, having all of that additional weight on you makes it that much more complicated.
Wow, so it looks like Mike shot a little bit better than Aaron on the rifle. I think Mike only dropped a couple of shots, it looks like. 2 or 3 shots. Pistol looks clean. Looks like Aaron might have dropped about 5 to 6 rifle. Pistol looks clean. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the stage plays out. So right now I would say Mike is slightly in the lead right now with points.
Aaron to the left, and we also have Zach Rodman to the right, both on the box step overs. And you can even see that Zach's judge is actually sitting on the box so that it doesn't tip over for him. You see that a lot in the stages where you have the rowers, some of the big athletes, the way they pull them, you got to step on them. But I've never actually seen somebody have to sit on a box so it doesn't tip.
Yeah, I've been scared of that box tipping over as soon as you come down. If you don't get directly on top of it, you could teeter-totter and almost fall over. So that's pretty cool he's doing that just to save him from falling with all that weight on.
Yeah, and also, we're out at the range. There's rocks out here. It can tilt a little bit. So Mike Palmer also at the firing line, all the way to the left.
They are moving for sure.
Yeah, we're only 4 minutes in, and this is they'll be at halfway once they make it through this firing sequence.
Maybe look at Aaron's technique there. Pretty good connection to the gun. Not super into it. Moderate, neutral. You don't want to put too much input into the gun because that's just going to create more wobble.
Yeah, because even with like the way he has his left foot forward, it's not a super wide stance.
Yeah, and you don't need to be aggressive. You're not shooting like in a combat or tactical situation. This is a more of a marksmanship stage, so you want to have a nice, relaxed stance. Like, I would give up recoil to have a more precise shot.
Zach Rodman to his left, also working through his second firing sequence, and Aaron is done, and now he will make his way over to the tall wall for 12 bag and body overs.
Oh, wow. So Aaron shot really well rifle there. He might have only dropped one or two. Looks like it's pretty neck and neck between the two giants in this squad here.
The two giants. And the top score to beat that we have on record so far is Devin Miller at 109 points. We're waiting on Zack Wolf and Jacob Horton's total score from the previous squad.
That's going to be exciting to see because I bet you it's going to be within 5 points between those two. And just watch how easy it is for Aaron to get over. Nice. Man, good technique, too. That's another
barely needs to use his tricep in this.
And it's less energy, too, which is good. It's going to save him in the long run for the bear crawls. Because that's, I think, going to be hard for him, just being as big as he is, trying to keep his body low and dragging that 100-pound bag. Yeah, I like Mike and Aaron's technique, how Aaron braces his arm over that wall. It really helps your landing, so you're not going to roll your ankle, you're not going to hurt your knee. It's a technique we use in obstacle course for a lot of the SWAT comps.
So would you say that it's better you can look at the top of the screen, or actually as soon as I said that, Zach changed his technique, but some athletes will get up and they'll almost sit on the top and then try to slightly step down. A slower technique, but this, when I'm watching, it just seems so efficient.
It's way more efficient. Yeah, because
Aaron.
you're rolling your body across. You're just laying your body, and you're staying lower, so you're not pushing yourself up. He's just bracing his arm as he lands.
Mike Palmer taking a break, but he's also working through.
This is part of the stage you need somebody yelling at you. It's like, all right, keep moving, 3, 2, 1, pick the bag up. Let's go. Yeah, man, love the technique on the walls because this is always a make it or break it for some.
And Aaron is done. He is just about 7 minutes in. This will be his third firing sequence before then he will advance to round 4 of 4.
Wow, and he is just at the halfway mark, so he's going to finish this stage for sure. He's going to finish.
He's going to be earning the extra points, but I think as you were saying before, it's important to not rush through the shooting.
Yeah, like at this point right here, I probably glance at my watch. I'm like, okay, I'm way ahead of where I thought I was going to be. Now it's time to really dial in the shooting and try to get 11 out of 12 rifle, 12 out of 12 pistol.
And, we keep talking about Aaron Clark and the race between him and Kyle Martin. Kyle Martin has a slight advantage because he gets to go in the final heat today. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Martin is somewhere out here kind of taking notes, seeing what Aaron's doing, and trying to pick up any last-minute strategy that he can implement for when he's out there.
Oh, yeah. For me, if I was in Kyle's shoes, I'd be watching closely and kind of seeing how they are running the stage and shooting for sure because – I bring out my same spotting scope. I look, and okay, wow, they shot very good.
So you bring out your spotting scope when you're a competitor watching your competition?
Yep. See how they shoot, and especially on a time plus stage, if it's 10 seconds a miss and they pull like 25 shots on a stage I know I can finish, I'm like, hey, you know what? I can be a little bit better on my my precision shooting here. But this isn't a time plus stage, so it's one of these stages you kind of got to go a little harder.
Earn points.
Yep. So it looks like Aaron shot rifle. He dropped 3 rifle. And we got the 3-time defending champ over here doing what I would do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He was like, Sale's over there with his spotting scope.
Basically
let me go
booted
look.
me off my scope.
And Aaron now into his final round of physical work. And this is just, how bad do you want it? How can I grunt through?
Oh, so he's on the physical work on the bear crawl, right?
So this is round 4,
yes,
so we'll get through 12 iterations of this, one more opportunity at the firing line, and then be able to earn extra points.
God, such a big guy, just having to move through this part right here.
Yeah. But you also think of if he can leverage how long his legs are and step forward and pull, it might be an advantage for him over, some of the shorter athletes.
So Mike shot good rifle there. Him and Aaron shot about the same rifle on this third string. And pistol, it looks like Aaron might have a slight edge on the pistol.
Aaron taking a break before maneuvering that 100-pound sandbag yet again.
So one of the things I'd be, if I was in Kyle's shoes, I'd be timing how long this bear crawl takes, because this is the longest part of the stage is this bear crawl. So I'd say, if it takes 3 minutes, then I need to be more efficient on the other parts of the stage to make this time. Yeah, when I come to the stages before I compete, I always try to figure out where I'm going to finish the stage, because I know it's going to take me about 1:30 in shooting, or maybe even a minute, depending how easy the shots are. And then I kind of program the fitness into that. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I always check it out. I'm like, man, if it's going to take me a minute for the bag toss, it's going to take me 1:30 shooting. It's going to take me 1:30 for the box step overs. And I kind of do the math, and I'm like, okay, I should finish this stage in about 13 minutes.
But I think that's great, because going into a stage and having an idea of where you're going to finish certain parts keeps you on that clock, keeps you on the time.
Two, three, four.
And Sale?
All right. Let's see. Hold on. I predict that Zack Wolf won that stage.
And you would be correct. Zack Wolf holds our top score right now with 121 points. Jacob Horton behind him at 108 points, but squeezing between Horton and Wolf is Devin Miller, who had 109. So just 1 point separates Horton and Miller.
What was Wolf points?
121.
Oh, so he was a little bit further than I thought. Okay. So you owe me now, I think we bet $100 on this. I thought we shook on it.
We should. That's what makes it even more fun. We get fun little bets on the side.
All right, so, yeah, it's close between Mike and Aaron.
In a time check, we're about 11 and a half minutes in, 15-minute time cap here. And, yeah, it definitely is taking the most time to get through the bear crawls.
How's Mike's speed? Let's see. He's on camera 2. Okay, so he's pretty – yeah, they're both about the same fatigue if you look at him. God, just think about the weight. The 30-pound ruck, your 15-pound vest, having to drag this back all the way through. I remember in Ohio, just looking over at Hepner when we were kind of neck and neck, I was like, okay, he's moving, I got to keep moving. Just trying to pace off of him kind of kept me going. Otherwise, if it was by myself, I would have taken so many breaks.
Well, and even you think about everything is heavy, but also every time you pull that bag forward, look at the amount of dust that's kicking up. It's getting in your nose, on your lips, in your eyes. It's uncomfortable.
After every tactical games, I somehow get a sinus infection or my allergies are jacked up from all the dust and sand that gets in your nose, your mouth, your ears.
And Aaron's done with that physical part. 12 and a half minutes in, he's got to get through his 12 shots with his rifle, 12 with pistol, and then he can start earning additional points. Score to beat, though, is going to be Zack Wolf with 121 points.
So I think he's slightly behind Zack Wolf's time here. So he may only have a minute, actually probably depending on how fast he shoots. He may have a minute to get some extra points. But his shooting is very good. So to me, this is a good strategy that he played. He has a lot of pistol hits. I would say he maybe only dropped 3 to 4 pistol, if that. All right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to see his rifle target. Rifle, he shot good. I think he only dropped about 3 to 4 rifle that last sequence. Now he's on to pistol. And right here I'm telling myself, dude, I got to run 100%. Like, I would rather shoot 100% pistol than finish shooting 60 or 70%. Just try to make up for it and work. I mean, you got 3 more stages. So for me, it's, man, I need to run this as clean as possible. And now Mike's on the shooting too now. Yeah, so right now it's like you got to be precise. You got to be the best you can be in this last round.
And
you know
Aaron's
you're gonna finish.
done.
Oh, geez, here it
1
is.
minute to go. So going into this, Zack Wolf had more time on the clock to get through the additional points. But Aaron's moving. And like we said before, that wall causes him no issues of slowing down.
Wow, so they're really close rifled. They're almost identical. on their targets. Aaron and Mike.
That's going to be huge for Mike on the leaderboard, too. And Aaron just trying to put up a top score to stay ahead of Martin.
So Mike has a couple of groups. So he has a couple of groups of like 3 to 4 pistol shots. So I know it's going to be hard for the judges to score that because it's really tight shots in there. So that's good for him. I think it's pretty neck and neck on pistol, too. And time. So it looks like Mike might have gotten 1 or 2 extra points maybe. Aaron probably got about 5 more, right? Because the points, what is it?
Yes, it's a 1 point per obstacle that you make it through.
Okay, so it looks like Aaron might have gotten like 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mike, maybe.
Yeah, because he went all the way down and he was about halfway back.
All right, so if I can get my prediction on who won this stage, it's going to be Aaron. I think his pistol shooting was a little bit better, but not by much. I would say by the max. I was wrong last time.
That's okay. You were almost right.
All right, but I think this time I'm going to say no more than 10 points for sure because their pistol shooting is very close. Their rifle shooting is close. Aaron's going to have that advantage because he had probably 5 extra points, maybe more.
Score to beat 121 points, but we will have our judges, after they pull the targets, get our final results from the stage, or the squad rather, that we just watched. So keeping an eye on Aaron Clark and Mike Palmer, see how their
55.
scores hold up with Zack Wolf. 55 work points for Aaron Clark.
Wow.
On top of just the 4 rounds.
So he got almost a whole 10 extra points on the work. So that takes away misses there.
That's significant.
That's huge. So I think he's going to win that stage now just from those extra work points. It's going to delete, 7 misses, right? So
yes.
So 7 misses he took away from all the shots. That's good. That's going to help. That's going to be very helpful on the stage.
So being able to get through the first part, obviously do really well, shoot as clean as possible, and earn those extra points when you're somebody that's as efficient in those movements was a great strategy for Aaron Clark. Yep. And Sale Hernandez will be right back. We will take a look now at our overall standings. Welcome to day 3 of competition. I'm Lauren Khalil out here at Reverly Peak Ranch for our 11th stage of the weekend for our national athletes. They have 4 today. The top 5 men and women will advance to our final stage of the day. So everybody will do 4. Top 5 men and women will take on an additional one. And if we take a look here at the overall standings heading into today of our elite men, Jacob Hepner sitting comfortably in first place, but Jose and Mike Palmer able to make some moves as well as Aaron Clark. But the conversation that we're talking about is the race between Aaron Clark and Kyle Miller. Aaron Clark just had a stellar performance on stage number 11 here, but Kyle Martin was sitting on the sidelines watching as he gets ready to take on this stage, and we'll see what the official score is from Aaron Clark, but we know he was able to earn extra reps, a significant amount of extra reps, more reps than we've seen from any athlete on this stage so far.
I'm so excited to watch this heat because you got Mike Palmer, who's Thunder, and you got Lightning, Austin Green. He's going to come out hot this stage. You know, he knows where he's at. He probably saw the leaderboard as I would too. I'd be looking right before day 2. I'm like, or day 3. Mm-hmm. It's time to go. It's like waking up. I'm consuming more caffeine than what I need to. It's like this is the last day, and I got a long break.
I got to inject myself with liquid courage of caffeine.
I'm playing whatever pump-up song several times on repeat just to get ready to go.
And then we're also going to bring in our guest now. Give me 1 second. We'll look at the floor. We'll get our headset ready.
Put him in the middle. Good work, man.
Zack Wolf.
Hi, how are you?
Come on into the show. Welcome. We'll even put the camera on us as the next squad takes the floor. 121 points. When you looked at this stage, was it one that you had a strategy and knew you'd be able to put up a top score?
No, I just came into it thinking I just need to go like 95%. I need to shoot very carefully. I need to shoot fast, but accuracy is obviously super important too. So when I go to these stages, it's just I need to shoot really carefully, but I need to go as quick as I can too. So
So then how do you balance that knowing, okay, I got to do these two things that don't necessarily benefit the other?
Yeah. No, it's like it's a scale. So you push yourself super hard, and then your heart rate goes up, and then things kind of start going off the wall shooting wise. But it's two separate sports, and as soon as I put the bag down, I'm into the shooting sport, and then as soon as I put the gun down, I'm back into fitness mode. So.
Managing that type of weight, you had your plate carrier on, you have a 30-pound ruck, you're maneuvering a 100-pound sandbag. Have you ever worked at a stage with that much additional weight on yourself?
Yeah, in training, not here in competition, but I think after probably the first 2 minutes or so, you kind of get accustomed to it, and it just becomes a part of you, and you move it with you, and it is what it is. So
it's just part of your person
it's part
now.
Of your person. It's your identity. So yeah.
So I got a question. So
yeah, go
you
ahead.
saw Devin in the heat before you, right?
I saw part of his, yeah.
And you were like, man, none of these guys finished. So your mindset going to the stage, what was your mindset? You're going to finish, or was it like, hey, I need to get as far as I can?
Man, I'd say a little bit of both. When I try to watch guys and I just look at strategy. I try not to look at outcome, because I look at the balance of performance and outcome. It's like I can manage my performance, but I can't predict the outcome. So I really try to stay in my lane. It's hard sometimes because you see some of these beasts out here, and it's like, man, that was a great strategy, but also I don't want to look at their time because my time is my time. Yeah, I just kind of look at it as strategy, so to speak, and I just go at that 90-95% and try to balance both the shooting and fitness well. So
yeah,
and putting up that score to beat, and then watching these other stages try to chase you down. How hard is it to be in that position? Especially, we just had that fun race between Zack Wolf and Jacob Horton as we wait for their total scores.
Yeah. Man, it's great. It's so cool to be out here with the best athletes in this sport. But honestly, it's like I want to come out here. We all want to come out here and win, but we want to beat the best athletes at the top of their game, right? So I'm encouraging guys. I think, you and I were in Ohio together, and you crushed me there. But it was like I want to chase the winners, right? And so I want to encourage these guys to go and be their best, because it's only going to push me to be better too. So.
And now our final squad is taking the floor. Zach, thank you so much for coming in and catching up with us. We'll stand by and watch to see how your time holds up, but good luck the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Dude, good run, man.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
So Jose's moving it pretty good. Saving his energy. I could tell he's just kind of throwing it like pretty casually the way Aaron did.
So in this final squad of elite men, we have the three-time national champ Jacob Hepner, Austin Green, Kyle Martin, Jose Sagoon.
This first part, it doesn't seem like it's the make it or break it. It's just kind of get through it. To me, it's definitely the bear crawl. It's the bear crawl, yeah.
That's going to be wasting the most time, and if you're taking those rests and at that stage feeling sorry for yourself, you're going to eat up and lose a lot of time. Where here, they're moving very fast to kick it off.
Yeah, they're all going to move through these first three parts pretty easy. I wouldn't say easy, but they're going to move through it at a good speed, and then the bear crawl is going to be the make it or break it for some of them if they get to shoot their last mags.
And Jose's had a great performance this weekend, just continues to move up on the leaderboard. He's the first one advancing there on your screen to the firing line to get to work with these 12 shots with his rifle and 12 shots with pistol, both 38 yards out.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how he does here, because we've been working, well, I shouldn't say in the last month, but prior to that, we've been shooting a lot of standing offhand. To me, these are the hardest shots you're going to take in tactical games, minus long range. So to me, it's these are tough. You got to try to steady your reticle, balance the gun. You don't want to be overly aggressive, putting so much input in the gun and trying to control your heart rate while you have a ruck on top of your vest. So you can't really get that good connection to the gun.
And so far this weekend, Jose has had 6 top 5 finishes and 8 top 10 finishes. So incredibly consistent across the board. He made moves yesterday, moving up the leaderboard. He's done with the rifle, will now move to his pistol. And then right next to him, another guy that we've been talking about, Kyle Martin, looking to make moves on Aaron Clark, who we saw in the previous heat.
Nice. Jose did really well on the rifle. He only dropped, looks like 4. Hepner over to the far left. Shot very well. He dropped 2. So I'm not surprised. Hepner's been putting a lot of work in on his standing offhand shots, is what he told me. And that's kind of the same thing with us, as we practice a lot of those standing shots. Lane 3 is going to be Austin. He shot very well. So Austin's only down 4 on the rifle. So him and Jose are tied right now with rifle.
And Jose is done at the firing line. He is moving, and then all the way in the far end, top of your screen, Jacob Hepner also moving to their box step overs.
Kyle Martin looks like he might have dropped 4 to 5 on the rifle. And Austin's hammering away on the pistol, man. Yeah, he's a very good pistol shooter. And I expect him to run about 99% on pistol in this stage. Yeah, it looks like he's clean pistol there, so Austin's shooting really well.
And watching your leaders on the physical side, Jacob is all the way to the right, and Jose
so right now,
to the left.
Looking at the points just on the shooting, I would say Austin's got to be in the lead with the shooting. Looks like Hepner dropped a few pistol. Kyle a few pistol and rifle, and same with Jose. So right now, Austin is in the lead if it just came down to the points right now with shooting. And to me, this is a part, too, that I would this would be the hardest part for me is these box step overs. So Jose is to the line, got Hepner to the line. I know all weekend they've been glancing over at each other each stage. Every time they're doing these stages, they keep glancing at each other for that raw time champ.
You see them do that
Oh, yes.
so often, and sometimes you'll catch Jacob even making a funny face.
Yeah, and I hate it because I train with Jose all the time, and every time we're working out, I tell him, like, stop looking at me, focus on yourself. It's you versus you, and try to tell him, like, dude, don't get caught in the race, man. You got to play your game, you know?
Yeah.
I tell him every time, like, dude, your raw time, your good time, your comfortable time is faster than a lot of guys' fast time. Like, his 80% is still faster than my 100. So I tell him, like, you got to focus on the shooting. It's going to help you. It's going to leverage you up to the top. So Jose shot really well rifle that last string.
And Jose and Jacob, you can see both of them now getting to work, loading in their mags.
So it looks like Jose is only 4 rifle out. He needs to work on his pistol here. And Hepner, I'd say he shot clean rifle that round. So Hepner's only down 3 rifle. Jose's only down 4.
We're just 5 minutes in, 15-minute time cap. And Jose is done.
That was a better round for pistol. Seems like he dialed in his pistol shots a little bit better there.
Jose will make his way. This is the start of the third round to the wall, bag over the wall and body over the wall. And Jacob, look, he's got it in an overhead position as he carries it.
Good little strategy there.
Yeah, especially knowing what his height is in comparison with this, getting it up high, and then you don't need to get it to your chest. So it took away an extra movement that he otherwise would have had to do before his first bag up and over. So yeah, even just the way that Jacob is leveraging using the top of the wall to rest the sandbag and then throw it over, I think is a great way to kind of save your muscles.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Jose has a really good technique going to the wall, very similar to Aaron Clark and Mike Palmer. To me, it's just a safer way, too. You know, you're throwing your body over. You're not reckless, but you're catching yourself on the other side with your support hand.
Mm-hmm. And then back to Jacob. So both of Jacob and Jose.
Let me see Austin's target. I think Austin's back to work. Yep, he's catching up, I'm telling you. He knows where he's at, and he has to keep moving. And Austin shot very well rifle there. So it looks like he's down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially. 6 rifle, pretty clean pistol. I would say him and Hepner have the best pistol targets right now out there.
And we just got our scores from the previous heat, and we have a new leader, Aaron Clark, 124 points.
Wow.
Which means Zack Wolf will sit in second at 121 points, and then Mike Palmer with 115. Those are your top 3.
I was right.
Sale Hernandez, he knows what he's talking about over here. Those are your top 3 as we have our final heat of the men's elite continuing this first stage of day 3.
I think you owe me $200 now.
I don't know that I ever agreed to the to this bet, but you know what? I'm happy to have a fun bet with you, but I think we're going to make it a physical challenge. And,
man. You know I can't do
I know
any
your
bag
strengths and
pickups,
my
so.
strengths are a little bit different, and I will be mindful of your injury rate now. Don't you worry.
I've seen you move a barbell. You're definitely going to beat me in that. So
I'll tell you one thing. We're not running, Sal.
Oh, man. All right. Jose's to the line.
Yep, he is at the line.
And so is Jacob. No, Jacob's still at the wall. Okay. So Jose's to the line. He must have got his second gear there. All right. So rifle. Shooting good.
Yep, so Jose is the only one at the firing line. Jacob's still making it through these 12 bags and body overs.
So it looks like Jose just dropped 4. Oh, he's still shooting rifle. Okay. He's still on the line.
Yep, he was just taking a deep breath
That was
there.
very smart of him to do that. To me, that's something that I would have done. It's like, hey, man, like so much wobble in the gun. You know, you're tired. Your heart rate's skyrocketed now. So to me, I would just take that breath and get those extra free points is what I call them.
Jacob Hepner now moving to the firing line as Jose is done with his rifle and will start his pistol sequence here. Jacob all the way to the left, taking a deep breath, trying to catch his breath before
So Jose
he starts
threw,
shooting.
I think he only had 6 hits that last one, so about 50%. Jose's done with pistol. Now here's the make it or break it of the stage. Who can hang on the longest and stay moving?
So here, this is the
Okay,
last.
a little interesting technique here. So he's the first one I've seen kind of go on his knees. I think that's a smart technique because a lot of guys are bracing their arms only and leaning over, and he's on his knees just, hey, you know what, taking the risk. This is the last day of the weekend for a long time.
And so you'll see those little white flags. They just need to make it past there. So where before they had to get the bag over a red stick, it is nice if you can just kind of drag that all the way, get the go ahead from your judge, or you can see it. I think there's just a bunch of dirt on top of the red sticks there actually, but they can just pull it through. So Jose, this is the last round, his last part of physical work. He will have one more round at the firing line. We're just 10 minutes in. So this was a very similar time that Aaron Clark was working through his bear crawl.
So right now, it looks like, Hepner shot rifle very well there. He shot, I think he only dropped 2. No, there's one that's close. So he only dropped 2 rifle on that last string, that third string there. Pistol target's good. So I would say he's shooting the best rifle right now out of all of them.
And Hepner is done with his shooting.
I would say next, it's close between Austin and Jose. I would give a slight edge to Austin on the rifle. I would say Austin's probably shooting the best pistol out of all of them, too.
And I think Austin
Austin's
is
on the bear
also
crawl too.
on the bear crawl. So we have Jose one.
I think Austin's going to do very well in this low crawl part right here because he likes that gritty stage. He likes to just bite down and go. So I predict him actually getting to the line on his last sequence, which is going to be huge for him because he needs it in the spot he's in.
So that's
man.
Austin.
Right here, I remember this part in Ohio, just spitting out of my mouth and just trying to breathe, looking over at Hepner, seeing where he's at.
There's Hepner, and you can see some other
He's moving.
bags and bodies moving. Oh, there we go. We can see all 3 of our athletes that are here. So we have Austin
Kyle's on there
Green,
too.
Kyle Martin, Jose Sagoon. He is closest to us here, and Jacob Hepner all the way at the top of the screen, off screen right now.
How's Kyle shooting? Kyle has a few more rifle than the rest of them. His pistol looks good. What's going to be huge is that all these guys are going to finish the stage. That's the biggest thing is they need to get those points, the free points on the shooting. It's free. You just got, I shouldn't say it's super free. You have to work for it. But to me, when you
Super
get there,
free.
Yeah, but when you get there, it's like, these are points that you don't have to work for at the line. Just take your breath, take your time, make the hits. Don't worry about the extra work. Those are points that you can save for this stage.
And it also shows us how prepared this division is because yesterday when we were covering this stage, we didn't get a lot of athletes that even got done with the fourth round. We had most of them somewhere in the third, maybe moving it to the bear crawl, but earning extra points wasn't even necessarily a part of the conversation for them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with this group, though. This is one of the men's elite super squads, so I know these guys are going to surprise everybody, as always.
And we have just over 2 minutes left before that time cap. Trying to get those extra points because we know Aaron Clark put up a blistering score.
So right now, Austin and Kyle are in a tough spot. They have to get through this. They know that they have about 2 minutes left, so they have to keep grinding because this is the make it or break it. You need to get these shots off. 24 rounds, 24 points. You got to go. You got to grind through it and just keep pushing. This is it. This is the Nationals.
This is what they train for all year long. Of course, they're going to the regional events and they want to do well, but that's really a baseline to get the data and decide what do I now need to work on before I get to nationals. So Jose will move to the firing line and begin his last firing sequence.
Right now, I'm telling myself, you got to run clean. It's like a minute 30 left. It's not worth the extra work. Get those easy points. Get those easy points here. Save yourself for the rest of the day.
And on your screen now, Kyle Martin, as we mentioned at the top, he is chasing down Aaron Clark, who has the top score. With the time remaining, I don't know that he'll be able to take him down, but still 3 more stages on the day. Opportunity to earn those points, but back to Jose making through his last shots in rifle, and Jacob Hepner has now made it to the firing line as he takes a breath before he loads his magazine into his rifle.
Very smart of Jose there to kind of take that breath. He's shooting, man. He's shooting really well this last rifle string.
And he's done. He will now go to pistol, and we have just about 30 seconds left.
Okay.
I don't know that it's going to be enough to take down Aaron Clark's score, but depending on how they shoot, we know that that will be a factor.
So Austin's in lane 3. He just...
Jose is done. About 15 seconds left.
Wow.
He's going to go as fast as he can to get to work.
Even with that string that Austin shot, he's getting a lot of good hits there. That's good. So he got those 24 points at the end shooting. That was huge because he had a lot of good pistol hits. He was shooting pretty fast, and he was making at least 60 to 70% of those pistol hits.
That is huge.
That's huge. I'm curious to see how this plays out. I think Jacob's going to take the overall win for the men's elite in this stage. Looking at his target, he only dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rifle. Maybe just 3 to 4 pistol, if that. So 6 rifle. Austin Green, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably about 15 rifle. Kyle Martin, I'd say about the same. Jose about the same, 15 to 20. Yeah, so Hepner had the cleanest rifle target, and I think that's the factor in the stage is the rifle. Everyone's going to shoot pistol very similar.
And it's interesting because maybe if you're watching and you've never been exposed to tactical games before, sometimes people think that you can out-fitness poor shooting. And the reality is not that. There is a very good balance between what the shooting portion is and what the fitness is. You can't be great at one and bad at the other if you want to be in contention at the top of the leaderboards.
And I would say a better shooter than better at fitness, because if you are better at fitness and very bad at shooting, you're going to miss so many shots here.
Just ask me. I wouldn't even say I'm very good at fitness. I'm a little above average at fitness, but shooting, I have a lot to work on. But watching these athletes have both and seeing their dedication, how many hours they're putting in the gym and at the range and doing dry fire. It's such a combination of skills that the athletes that we're watching this weekend are incredibly good at. And even when you look at, people say that your athletic ability, it's going to stop when you're in your 20s and when you're in college. Being out here and seeing the growth of tactical games, even the introduction of our 60-plus division for our men, the sport has come a long way.
Oh, yeah.
And people are still making gains into their masters.
One thing I love is when I see guys in their 40s and 50s that are just getting into the sport. They're They're
You
just
see that a lot
I
here.
love it, man. I love seeing that. And the 50 and 40 plus are two of the biggest divisions at every regional. It's awesome.
And they're out here. They asked for the 60-plus division this year, and they got it. For the women, we also introduced the 50-plus division for the first time, and they're out here grinding, and it's been such a fun weekend. This is the third day of competition. Bear with us. We'll get a shot back in just a moment.
So I'm going to give my predictions. I'm going to write them down right now, kind of what I've seen.
Yep, and
what was Zach's 121? So Zach will be third in this stage. Mike will be fourth. Jose will be fifth. So the top 5 in this stage, my predictions, Hepner's going to win this stage. He shot very well. He finished the work. He shot clean enough where the extra work wasn't needed, in my opinion.
wow.
He shot that good. Yeah, he shot rifle very well where it's like he didn't need to bust his butt and try to get those extra points. So he's going to win the stage. So who had the highest? Aaron, 124. Jacob's going to be 125.
Okay.
125, yep.
125 is what we think's going to happen. All scores will be updated on Practice Score, and we will have those official standings heading into the next stage for the elite men. They have at least 3 stages to continue this weekend. What are they going to be doing now, Sal, in between the next one?
So honestly, the make it or break it stage is going to be the jungle run. It's a 2-gun stage, and to me, you can gain and lose. You can lose the competition on that stage because if you have a malfunction, if you shoot a no-shoot, if you lose your mind and just forget some of the targets, you know, you can lose the stage. You can lose, or the competition. You can lose 40 points in the blink of an eye. The stage is going to be less than a minute and a half. So a minute and a half at your best, you have to focus for that entire time. You have to remember the sequence. You have to remember everything, the steps you take getting into each port. It's a pretty in-depth 2-gun stage. You got 15 paper targets and 10 steel. And then you have to shoot a rifle from a tank trap. But it's going to be a make it or break it for some. And the guys that are in that 4th through 8th place, I mean, hang on.
Hang on. Do your best. We'll see what happens. This has been so much fun bringing you guys full coverage of all our men's elite squads. We are now going to reset as we move and get ready for our next division is going to be over here, but make sure you guys keep checking in. We will be covering full stages, squads. We're having so much fun out here. For Sale Hernandez, I'm Lauren Khalil, and we'll see y'all in just a little bit.